sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.no-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or novex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Let's go, studio. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. And surely you'll be your pint stoup, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Me twa hae run about the braes and poud the gowans fine, but we've wandered mony a weary fit sin old lang syne. We twa hae pidle in the boun, fry morning sun till dine, but seas between us bride hae roared sin old lang syne. And here's a hand my trusty fear, and gie's a hand o' thine, and we'll talk a right good willie watch for old lang syne.
Never brought to mind, should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup o' kindness yet for days of old lang syne. We twa run about the braes and put the gowans fine, but we've wandered many we've fed since days of lang syne. and wheat white golden upon frae morning sun till dine. But seas between us braid herald since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And surely you'll be your pine stood, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. And there's a hand, my trusty fear, and gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll take a recht, get well walked for old lang syne. For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne.
Knowledge is power. Class.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old long ago, so long ago, old time's sake? For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne, for old long since, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. And surely you'll pay for your pint cup, and surely I'll for mine. And we'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. We too have run about the slopes and pulled the daisies fine, but we've wandered many a weary foot since so long ago. We too have paddled in the stream from morning sun till dine, but seas between us broad have roared since auld lang syne. And there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give us a hand o' thine, and we'll take a right goodwill draught for old time's sake.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for days of old lang syne. We twa here on about the braes and put the gowans fine, but we've wandered many weary fet since days of old lang syne, and we twa pedalled in the barn frae morning sun till dine, but seas between us braid road since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And surely you'll be your pine stoop, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. And there's a hand, my trusty fear, and gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll take a recht get well walked for old lang syne. For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
The National Irrigation Commission Limited encourages efficient irrigation practices and responsible use of water. By doing so, we will allow the aquifer to be recharged and keep the supply flowing. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Hello, Jamaica. I am Death. I sincerely appreciate your amazing efforts ushering persons to the afterlife. Motorists, please continue overtaking on unbroken lines, running red lights, and speeding through school zones. You've exceeded my expectations and my quota. Ward off death. Obey the road code. A message from the Road Safety Unit.
He'll cock a cup, oh kindness yet, for days of old lang syne. We walk on about the braes and put the gowans fine. But we've wandered many we've since days of old lang syne. And we quadrupedaled in the barn frae morn and sun till dine. But seas between us braid hereward since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll cock a cup, oh kindness yet, for days of old lang syne.
Let's go, studio. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 31st and final day of the 12th and final month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's been 31 days, I beg your pardon. It's been 31 days since the end of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. And Jamaica's weather forecasters are telling us this afternoon that there is no regional weather feature of interest at this time. Conditions are quite clear. However, there's a high pressure ridge across the Caribbean basin. Additionally, there's a low level jet stream across the central Caribbean. The ridge remains across the region and in fact, will stay in place until Monday. That ridge is generally, they say in general terms, not precise terms, but in general terms, It usually means fair weather, Fair, fair weather, but that does not exclude other possibilities depending on how systems interact with each other. So the ridge across the region will remain in place until Monday. The jet stream, the winds from the jet stream will linger through to tomorrow, New Year's Day, and is mainly across southern parishes and coastal areas. That low-level jet stream, as we have told you before, a low-level jet stream is a narrow band of fast-flowing wind in the lower levels of the atmosphere. And the fact that it's in the lower levels of the atmosphere, it means it's closer to us, which means we're likely to feel what we generally refer to as the Christmas breeze. So New Year's Eve morning this morning was partly cloudy across eastern parishes, mainly sunny elsewhere. New Year's Eve afternoon this afternoon, partly cloudy across hilly areas, otherwise mostly sunny, which is what we've been experiencing. New Year's Eve night tonight will be fair, and the 3-day forecast, well, New Year's Day tomorrow, Sunday, mainly sunny throughout the day with few clouds across hilly areas in the afternoon. So fair weather conditions going into this New Year's Day weekend. How about that? Let's tell you about the other observances now as we look at El Salvador and Yemen. It's bank holiday in El Salvador and Yemen. Commemoration of the Restoration, St. Sylvester in Switzerland. Day of Azeri Solidarity in Azerbaijan. Festival Day in Montserrat. Foundation of the Congolese Labour Party or Republic Day in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Omisoka in Japan, and Hogmanay in Scotland. It's the 6th day of Kwanzaa, 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 the 6th day of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga, Maulana, Maulana, Dr. Maulana Karenga, professor and chairman of Black Studies at California State University, Long Beach, as a way to bring African Americans together as a community and help them reconnect with their African roots and heritage. Kwanzaa celebrates family, community, culture, and heritage. On this, the 6th day of Kwanzaa, and today is all about Kuumba, 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 Kuumba. Creativity is the English translation. To find new, innovative ways to leave communities of African descent in more beautiful and beneficial ways than the community inherited. So this is creativity, Kuumba, Kuumba. That's the 6th principle of Kwanzaa. And this is the 6th day of Kwanzaa. And on this, the 6th day of Kwanzaa, the principle of focus is Kuumba, Kuumba, which means creativity, to find new innovative ways to leave communities of African descent in more beautiful and beneficial ways than the community inherited. How about that? And just to continue here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, it's New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve. We have come this far, and we have a lot to be thankful for. And we will come back to that in a moment. But let's do the usual introduction. Hoy es viernes el 31 de diciembre 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. Come back. Alors, on va parler en français maintenant. C'est vendredi le 31 décembre 2021. Et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent, où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. Come back. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 31st and the final day of December 2021. This is the 365th and final day of 2021. And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. In fact, this is the 252nd edition, the 252nd edition of Both Sides of the Story for 2021. And we're happy to have served you and happy to be serving you in this day, on this day 250 for the 251st time this year. So for the 251st time, we have greeted you at this time of the day in this year 2021. But this is the 252nd edition of Both Sides of the Story for 2021. In fact, the 252nd and final episode of Both Sides of the Story for 2021. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never, ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Come back. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point, this is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you can download from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We welcome those of you who have had to dial a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the United States who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953, 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening here at home in my library, study, office here in the parish of St. Andrew in the corporate area, Jamaica. We thank those of you who are, well, if you don't have a Facebook account, you can still watch both sides of the story on the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel, which is up and running right now as well. So there's another option for you. We thank those who are listening to us via the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. We started out this afternoon with Dougie MacLean's edition or rendition, Dougie MacLean's rendition of Auld Lang Syne, AULDLANGSYNE. Let's give you the history. Let's give you the background. Let's give you the usage. Where do we start? Where do we start? And this is the night when we'll be hearing this song being played all over the world. In fact, it has started already in terms of countries that are way ahead of us in terms of hours. And we'll get to that. But for those who will be singing without even knowing what they will be singing, this is a special edition of both sides of the story for you. Every year we do it. We started out this afternoon with Robert Burns's edition, as in the original score by Robert Burns, and we hope we did justice to some of the pronunciations. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and Auld Lang Syne? And then the chorus says, for Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. So we did that for quite a bit at the start. And then we gave you the anglicized translation, which says, should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old long ago, so long ago, old time's sake? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne means for old long since, literally. For Auld, AULDLANGSYNE, for Auld Lang Syne literally means for old long since. Put another way, for old time's sake. For old time's sake. We'll take a cup of kindness yet, for old time's sake. And surely you'll pay your pint cup. Surely you'll pay for your pint cup, and surely I'll for mine. And we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for auld lang syne. We too have run about the slopes and pulled the daisies fine, but we've wandered many a weary foot since so long ago. We too have paddled in the stream from morning sun till dine, and dine there means dinner time. But seas between us broad have roared since auld lang syne. And there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give us a hand o' thine, and we'll take a right goodwill draught for old time's sake. And it goes on. So those are the anglicized lyrics, and we'll take a right goodwill draught for old time's sake. The closing verse there. So that's what all of that means. The song you've been listening to by Dougie MacLean. Dougie MacLean, DOUGIE MAC LEAN. Dougie MacLean. That's his version we've been playing. So here's the history. Auld Lang Syne, that's AULD LANGSINE. Auld Lang Syne is a poem by Robert Burns, BURNS, Robert Burns. Auld Lang Syne is a poem by Robert Burns and one of the best known songs in English-speaking countries. Although, like many other frequently sung songs, the melody is better remembered than the words, which are often sung incorrectly and seldom in full. The song is commonly accompanied by a traditional dance. The group who are singing form a ring holding hands for the first verse. For the second verse, arms are crossed and again linked. For the third verse, everyone moves into the center of the ring and then out again. Perhaps it's something family members who will be singing this song tonight, New Year's Eve, could practice. So if you're singing Auld Lang Syne tonight, it's and you want to add the traditional dance, which usually accompanies the singing of the song or the playing of the song. So with the traditional dance to Auld Lang Syne, the group singing, so you need two groups, one group singing, and the group singing form a ring holding hands for the first verse. So the song is commonly accompanied by a traditional dance, and if you're going to do the dance, you should know that the group who are singing form a ring holding hands for the first time. For the second verse, arms are crossed and linked. For the second verse, arms are crossed and linked. Look at me trying to demonstrate it here. So the group singing form a ring holding hands. So they just hold hands, forming that ring. The first verse. The group singing form a ring holding hands for the first verse. For the second verse, the arms are crossed. If you're watching on the video, the live video, you'll see that. So the arms are crossed and again linked, so that you cross the arms and you hold hands. And that's for the second verse. For the third verse, everyone moves into the center of the ring and then out again. That's close to a folk song that we have in Jamaica. In and out the window, in again, in and out the window. You know that one, right? So you go in and out, in and out. Right. You can try that tonight, all things being well. So let's move on. The song's name is in Scots. So it's a Scots name, Auld Lang Syne, AULD LANGSYNE. So the song's name is in Scots. and may be translated literally as old long since. So if you want to do the literal translation, and those of us who are into foreign languages, we learn not to translate literally. But for the general English population, English-speaking population, the literal translation of Auld Lang Syne, AULDLANGSYNE, is old long since. So AULD, the English equivalent would be OLD. LANG, the English equivalent would be LONG. And SYNE, the English equivalent would be since. Auld Lang Since. Auld Lang Syne, or old long since. So the song's name is in Scots and may be translated literally as old long since, or more idiomatically, long ago. Long ago. So you could translate it literally by saying old long since. You could translate it more idiomatically as long ago. Long ago, that would be idiomatically correct, long ago. Or you could translate it as days gone by. Days gone by. So 3 ways there. 3, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 ways to translate Auld Lang Syne. AULDLANGSYNE. The first translation is literal, old long since. The second is more idiomatic, long ago. And the third translation, days gone by. Now, in his retelling of fairy tales in the Scots language, Matthew Fitt, F-I-T-T, uses the phrase, in the days of Auld Lang Syne, as the equivalent of once upon a time. So that's another spin on it. In Scots, syne, S-Y-N-E, is pronounced like the English word S-I-G-N, sign, not zine. Some people like to say Auld Lang Syne. It's not zine, but it's sign. Think of sign, S-I-G-N. That's the same pronunciation as S-I-G-N, sign. And so Auld Lang Syne is usually sung each year on New Year's Eve, which is called Hogmanay in Scotland, Hogmanay in Scotland, Hogmanay in Scotland, in the United Kingdom. That's how they refer to New Year's Eve. So we say New Year's Eve, they say Hogmanay, Hogmanay in Scotland, in the United Kingdom. There's more after the break.
Filled with happiness and cheer, but it can also be a time of danger for road users. Here's a holiday road safety tip from Petrojam Limited in association with the Road Safety Unit.
If you feel extremely tired or as if you're about to doze off, don't drive. For long trips, have a relief driver who can take over if you become tired or sleepy. If there's no relief driver, pull over in a well-lit and safe area. Take a power nap and restart your journey. A road safety tip from the Road Safety Unit and Petrojam Limited, where safety is our #1 priority.
Christmas no cancel. If we responsible, we still can have no fun. Vaccinate, sanitize, wear your mask and stay apart. Christmas no canceling, we heart.
Yes, it's Christmas, and we know what that means to you. Festivities, fun, and good cheer. But we want grandma and grandpa and everybody to stay healthy. We don't want you get or give COVID to anybody. Just get vaccinated and done no more. Sanitize and keep your distance.
Vaccinate, sanitize, wear your mask and stay apart. Christmas no canceling, we heart.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Since days of Auld Lang Syne, and wheat why pedalled in the barn, frae morning sun till dine. But seas between us, great road, since days of Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne. We'll talk a cup o' kindness yet for days of Auld Lang Syne.
Right, so Auld Lang Syne is usually sung each year on New Year's Eve, as we know it. In Scotland, they call it Hogmanay, Hogmanay. And that's that. They also, they in the Republic of Ireland, same thing. And in terms of the singing of Auld Lang Syne, so too in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, and English-speaking Canada at midnight. And that essentially signifies the start of a new year in the United Kingdom. Not just in the United Kingdom, we have listed the other places. But uh, in the United Kingdom, the song Auld Lang Syne is also played at the close of the annual Congress or Conference of the Trades Union Congress. So that's another occasion on which Auld Lang Syne is sung or played. In the United Kingdom, it is played at the close of the annual Congress or Conference of the Trades Union Congress. Also in many Burns clubs, as in clubs named in honor of Robert Bobby Burns. Also in many Burns clubs, it is sung to end the Burns Supper. It is used as well as a graduation song. To listen to how many ways in which Auld Lang Syne is applied to our lives all over the world. It is used as a graduation song and a funeral song in Taiwan. Auld Lang Syne is used as a graduation song and a funeral song in Taiwan, symbolizing an end or a goodbye. In Japan, too, it is used in graduation, and many stores play it to usher customers out at the end of the business day. So for those of us who like to linger when we're shopping and the business people are trying to close up for the day, when the business people in Japan want to send you a signal to get out of the store now because they're closing, they play Auld Lang Syne. Now, before the composition of the Eguga, the lyrics of Korea's national anthem were sung to the tune of this song, Auld Lang Syne. So before Korea, before the composition of Eguga, the lyrics of Korea's national anthem were sung to the tune of this song, Auld Lang Syne. Now, in the Indian Armed Forces, the band plays this song during the passing out parade of the recruits. In the Philippines, it is well known and sung at celebrations like graduations, New Year, and Christmas Day. Also, before 1972, it was the tune for the Gaumi Salam anthem of the Maldives with the current words. In Portugal, France, Spain, and Germany, the song is used to mark a farewell. It is also used in the Scout movement for the same purpose, but with lyrics that are a little different. It has also been used on other occasions as a farewell. One occasion that falls in this category was in October 2000, when the body of former Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau left Parliament Hill in Ottawa for the last time, going to Montreal for the state funeral. The song is also the official corps song for the Kilties Drum and Bugle Corps. And that corps is spelled C-O-R-P-S, but it's French. That's why you don't say corpse. If you put an E on it, it becomes corpse, which refers to a body. And right, but it's core, which CORPS, which refers to a body of people, a particular group or cohort of people. So the song is also the official corps song for the Kilties Drum and Bugle Corps. The tune to which Auld Lang Syne is universally sung is described as a pentatonic Scots or possibly Northumbrian folk melody, probably originally a sprightly dance in a much quicker tempo. The English composer William Shield seems to quote the Auld Lang Syne melody briefly at the end of the overture to his opera Rosina. This may be its first recorded use. The contention that Burns borrowed the melody from Shield is, for various reasons, highly unlikely. They may very well both have taken it from a common source. However, possibly a Strathspey called The Miller's Wedding or The Miller's Daughter. The problem is that tunes based on the same set of dance steps necessarily have a similar rhythm, and even a superficial resemblance in melodic shape may cause a very strong apparent similarity in the tune as a whole. For instance, Burns's poem Coming Through the Rye is sung to a tune that might also be based on The Miller's Wedding. The origin of the tune of God Save the Queen presents a very similar problem, and for just the same reason as it is also based on a dance measure. Whatever its source, the Auld Lang Syne tune has been used all over the world in various contexts. For example, the University of Virginia's alma mater, the Good Old Song, and the anthem of Alpha Kappa Psi, the largest professional business fraternity in the US, are both sung to the tune of Auld Lang Syne. In Japan, the Japanese students' song, Otaru no Ikari. Otaru no Hikari. No Hikari. Hikari is a long sound, short sound. That's me trying to speak Japanese. Which means glow of a firefly. So in Japan, the Japanese students sung Hotaru no Hikari, glow of a firefly, uses the Auld Lang Syne tune. The words are a series of images of hardships that the industrious student endures in his relentless quest for knowledge, starting with a firefly's light, which the student uses to keep studying when he has no other light sources. As noted, under usage, the melody is also played in many stores shortly before closing time in Japan. The tune is used for the Dutch football song. For those who love to watch the Dutch play, the tune is used for the Dutch football song, We houden van Oranje, something like that. My Dutch is not that good. Although I had to learn a bit of Dutch years ago to MC a wedding, which I have talked about on this program before, the wedding of the union of a Jamaican woman and a Dutchman. And need to catch up on the Dutch. So that Dutch football song in English is We Love Orange. We Love Orange. That's the Dutch football song. We houden van Oranje. WIJHOUDENVANORANGE. That's the Dutch. In France, the melody is used with French words, and the parting song is entitled Ce n'est qu'un au revoir. Ce n'est qu'un and this is French, this is supposed to be my strong language. Watch me now. Ce n'est qu'un au revoir. 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 Yeah. This is only goodbye, not farewell. That's a translation. Ce n'est qu'un au revoir. Ce n'est qu'un au revoir. You have to run it on. Ce n'est qu'un au revoir. This is only goodbye, not farewell. So that's in French. The melody is used with French words, and the parting song is entitled Ce n'est qu'un au revoir. This is only goodbye, not farewell. In Denmark, the song is known by the Danish, the Danish 1927 translation of the song entitled Skuld Gammel Venskab Rein Forgo. Also, former Dutch rock group Gasoline popularized the melody in 1974 with their pop ballad Stakel's Jim, Poor Jim, Stakel's Jim. In South Korea, the melody was sung as a national anthem, Eguga, until the composer An Ik-tae composed a new melody to the existing lyrics. And I think we have, there's another bit of the history that we should not forget. Hold on a moment there. Right, so Burns's verse, which we shared earlier on at the top of the program, is taken exactly from the Songs from Robert Burns, which was published in Great Britain by Collins Cleartype Press in 1947 and sold at Burns Cottage. Most traditional use of the song involves only the first verse and the chorus, with the last line changed to "and days of Auld Lang Syne." The first two lines of the lyrics seem to be an allusion, although perhaps not consciously intended, to Isaiah 65, verse 17, which reads, "Behold, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind." Seeing a connection there? Yes. So the writer here says the first two lines of the lyrics seem to be an allusion, although perhaps not consciously intended, to Isaiah 65:17, which reads, "Behold, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind." And you remember the lyrics, which they should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. So a bit of connection being made there, biblical connection. After the break, we're going to give you the history. And guess what? The history is connected to Jamaica. Listen up.
3 o'clock.
More than 2,000 years ago, the light of a miraculous star brought hope, announcing the birth of Jesus. This Christmas, we can renew that hope by being the star that illuminates others through our good deeds. Visit lighttheworld.org and find simple ideas on how to live the true spirit of Christmas. Light the world with love and be a light in the lives of others.
It's fine, but we've wandered many weeks that since days of old lang syne, and we twa pedaled in the barn frae morning sun till dine. But seas between us, great Herod, since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for days of old lang syne.
Let's go. Thanks a lot for staying with us on this New Year's Eve edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. Poro 106 FM and CNN is reporting TV icon Betty White dead at 99. Condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, fans of Betty White. She was truly a hilarious actress, really hilarious. Remember her from the Golden Girls? Golden Girls, Betty White, dead at 99. And we thank her for the memorable productions she has been a part of, not least of all, Golden Girls. Really hilarious. Betty White, dead at 99. Condolences to her family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, fans, all across the world. We've been sharing with you a song which is quite popular all over the world, used all over the world for various different reasons, not least of all to ring out the old year and ring in the new year on this New Year's Eve. So here's another part of that history. And we told you that Auld Lang Syne was written by the Scottish poet Robert Burns. So let's tell you a bit about Robert Burns, because there's a connection to Jamaica here. Listen up. And by the way, not by the way, because this is not an aside, Robert Burns is widely regarded as the national poet of Scotland. He's widely regarded as the national poet of Scotland and is celebrated worldwide. So here's a bit of history, which includes Jamaica. Listen up. You know how we are as Jamaicans. If, as my late mother would say, if an egg, we have to in at the red. So you wouldn't be thinking that there's a Jamaican connection to Auld Lang Syne. Well, there is, because the man who wrote Auld Lang Syne, Robert Burns, decided not to emigrate to Jamaica as he had planned. So he was ready to resettle in Jamaica, to emigrate to Jamaica, to start a new life in Jamaica. But he changed those plans. That's how Jamaica got into the narrative. But let's tell you some more. Robert Burns decided not to emigrate to Jamaica as he had planned and headed for Edinburgh instead. And Edinburgh is spelled Edinburgh. Edinburgh, but pronounced Edinburgh. Edinburgh. So on the 27th of November, 1786, Robert Burns decided not to emigrate to Jamaica as he had planned, and in fact instead headed to Edinburgh. Robert Burns was in financial difficulties, and to make enough money to support a family, he took up a friend's offer of work in Jamaica. Did you hear that? Robert Burns was in financial difficulties. This is the man who wrote Auld Lang Syne, the national poet of Scotland. Robert Burns was in financial difficulties, and to make enough money to support a family, he took up a friend's offer of work in Jamaica at a salary of £30 per year. The position that Robert Burns accepted was as a bookkeeper on a slave plantation. Robert Burns was against slavery, and so he did not accept the job. In fact, in 1792, Robert Burns wrote a poem entitled The Slaves Lament. He apparently wrote the poem while pondering his trip to Jamaica to become a bookmaker for a slave trader. So Robert Burns wrote The Slaves Lament, but one of his most famous works is the poem that we've been telling you about so far this afternoon, Auld Lang Syne. which literally means old long since. It has long been put to music, and so every New Year's Eve for Auld Lang Syne is usually sung or played. Robert Burns is still beloved and celebrated today. Burns fans around the world celebrate his birthday, the 25th of January, with rowdy and ribald dinners of haggis and other Scottish delicacies. Robert Burns, Scottish poet and lyricist, born on the 25th of January, 1759. He died in 1796. I think we have given you all the history of Auld Lang Syne. And so we're going to move on and continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. Hello to Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Thank you very much, Norman Hines, for tuning in. Good to have you on board. Nicola in Central Jamaica, good afternoon. Winnie Anderson Brown says, good afternoon on this last day of 2021, Dervan. Much love and blessings to you and all your listeners. To you too, Winnie Anderson Brown. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine says, shout out to all the listeners from across the world. Angelia Christian says, this song dedicated to the family for all Jamaicans who'd lost their lives tragically in Jamaica 2021. Very sad. And she says, thank you, Dervan, Malcolm, and an awesome 2022 when it arrives. Angel Foundation UK JA. All the best. Thank you very much, Angel, and all the best to you as you continue to give back to Jamaica. And we look forward to the presentations that we'll be making to two schools, Bensonton Primary, and I think the other one is Freehill Primary School. And supplies, computers are on the high seas now, being shipped to Jamaica by Transpac ship on behalf of the Angel Foundation. Well done, Angel. Audrey Smith says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners. A very happy new year to everyone, praying that 2022 will be better than 2021 with God's blessings. Enjoy the new year all and stay safe and take care. The very same to you, Audrey Smith in Southampton in England. All the best. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. I wish you all a safe and prosperous new year. May 2022 be a better year than the previous one. Thank you. And many happy returns, Velta Wilson in St. Thomas. Cherry Henry says, keep up the good work and happy new year when it comes. Same to you, Cherry Henry. Good afternoon. Lorraine Brown, somewhere in, I think she's in Claremont, St. Anne, says, good afternoon, Sir D. Happy New Year. Have a good one. God bless. Blessings to you too, Lorraine Brown. B. Jew in New York says, good afternoon and happy New Year's Eve to you, Dervan and listeners. Blessings always for a prosperous and healthy new year when it arrives. Thank you, B. Jew. Many happy returns. Take care. And all the best to Mr. B and, of course, Jorvilia. Ranny Bell says, good day, blessings to you too, Ranny Bell in St. Thomas. Gaveth Peterson is, where's Gaveth again? She says, good afternoon, Dervan. All the best in the coming year. Thank you very much. Same to you, Gaveth Peterson. Here's Angela in Toronto, Canada. She says, good afternoon. Wish for all a safe, healthy, and prosperous new year. Thank you very much, Angela in Toronto, Canada. And let's see who else is messaging us. Let's hop across to YouTube. Donovan Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. I hope you're all doing well. Thank God for another day. Thank you for your message, Donovan Campbell. We're doing the best we can. All the best. Bellmark 1960 says, hola, Brother D. John Campbell here, former C-Bar PE teacher. How are you, Mr. Campbell? He says, we met at that institution when you were a student. Continue your program of excellence. Best wishes and a productive new year. And the very same to you, John Campbell. Mr. Campbell, thank you so much. A blast from the past. What a reminder. C-bar PE teacher. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube, on the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. John Campbell, all the best to you and yours for the rest, for what's left of 2021 and beyond. Thank you. Gaveth Peterson reminds us that she's in New Jersey. Thanks for the reminder, Gaveth Peterson. And hello to all the Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in New Jersey. CNN still leading with the story of the death of Betty White. What a hilarious woman. Really quite funny. Some people think it's the slapstick humor that that does the trick. At least not for me. I love the more subtle expressions and terms and turns of phrase, and especially when they are delivered with exquisite timing. And that's my favorite word, by the way, timing, from the root word time. Timing, that's my favorite word. Timing, nothing beats timing. Right, so let's clear some more messages. We're taking your calls. In fact, here's a question. Here's a question for those who feel like calling and talking with us. What do you plan to do in 2022? What do you plan to do in 2022? That's the question. You can call us on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us via WhatsApp. And that number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Let's go to, so that's the question. What do you plan to do in 2022? What do you plan to do in 2022? What do you plan to do in 2022? Feel free to message us on that question, and we'll be happy to share your responses. We have some questions or some messages from yesterday. Please forgive us. Hope the people who sent these messages yesterday are still listening. One moment, please.
Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
I take you to the candy shop.
Fame of Frequency kickstarts 2022 with a sweet and sexy Candyland party.
Tell me what you do.
Saturday, January 1st from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. with the music by DJ King Taj, DJ Kim Martinez, and DJ Xavier, alongside me, your host, Pereske, and some of your favorite Zumas. That's Fame Frequency Candyland New Year's Day Party, Saturday, January 1st, blazing live from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Fame 95 FM, Hits 92 FM, and RETV, and online at onespotmedia.com, and on Fame Frequency Mixcloud channel.
Jordan asked me to shoot me, say, that easy.
Fame Frequency is sponsored by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. You must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly, and by X-Bar Chocolate. X-Bar, exceed expectations.
See them it hard, but it easy for we.
surely you'll be your pine stood, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all land's sign. And there's a hand my trusty fear, and gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll take a recht, get well walked for all of land's sign. For all of land's sign.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's clear the backlog of messages now before we take a call on WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, this one says, good evening, good afternoon. Sir, I would like school to be open because the children are left behind and are barely learning. I spoke to a teacher that they need to interact with the parents also. She told me that she won't promise me that, and government is not paying her to call me and hang up the phone. We're sorry to hear of that situation. You might want to report that situation to those in charge of that individual. Thank you for your message. Oh, here is Winji. It's been a while, Winji. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Winji from Winji. Let's go back to the message. Winji from Retreat in Brownstown, St. Anne. It's good to reconnect with you, Winji, from Retreat in Brownstown, St. Anne. Thanks for joining us here on today's edition of Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon, Winji, in Retreat, Brownstown, St. Anne. I think Nicola is trying to get in on the line, except that one of our regular listeners from Florida is already on the WhatsApp line. Sorry about that, Nicola. One of our regular listeners from Florida is already on the WhatsApp line in terms of the call-in line for WhatsApp. So bear with us, please. H. Morgan says, hi, Dervan. A happy new year to you and the Jamaican community when it comes. Thanks for reading my messages over the last few months. Bless, says H. Morgan in Birmingham. Thank you very much, H. Morgan in Birmingham, for your message. Have we cleared those from yesterday? I think we have, which means we could then go on to the messages that have come in today on Both Sides of the Story. Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello to Tony Kelly in the UK. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much for tuning in, and all the very best. Thank you. And going down the line, let's go to the UK. Who is this now? This one says, blessings and good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and your staff. It's been a pleasure listening to your program in England. Happy New Year to you all. As we are about to celebrate the new year, I lost my beloved father, Mr. Clifford Fagan. We're so sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Condolences Condolences to Walden and Bev. Condolences to you both. So sorry to hear. Uh, so sorry to hear of your loss. And the message says, I lost my father on the 23rd of the 12th, 21. That's the 23rd of December this year. In cricket terms, he had a damn good innings. He was 98. 98. Well, he did better than most of us will ever do. 3 scores and 10 and then some. He played well. Great innings. And condolences to the Fords and the rest of the family. Condolences to the Fords and the rest of the family. So, Walden and Bev, our thoughts and prayers with you and your family. All the best. Take care. And may you continue to cherish those memories. Precious, precious memories. Samantha in Manchester in the UK is watching as usual. She tells us, she says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. It's been a pleasure listening to both sides of the story. Wishing you a happy 2022. All the best. Thank you. Thank you very much, Samantha in Manchester in England. Pearl Brown, Miss Pearl, how are you? She says, Sir Dervan, I want to say thanks. Thanks for such great program for 2021. I pray God's blessings upon you and your family and all the workers at your station. With all our fears and doubts, please let God be first place. Let God be first place in our lives. Believe me, I have proven God's hand on my life. I thank him from the bottom of my heart. Blessed love, Sir D. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Miss Pearl, and thank you very much for the testimony. All the best. Another one. Good afternoon, Sir D. What about the Happy New Year song you normally play at the end of the year? I think that's what you would start the show with, but that's what we have done over the years. So you're mixing it up. We usually play Happy New Year. We usually play Happy New Year at the start of the new year. That's when we normally play Happy New Year. Thank you for your message. And let's see. All the very best to you. I was trying to find out who this is. Is it Owen in Mandeville, Manchester? I think it is. Owen, please confirm if it's you. I think it's Owen in Mandeville, Manchester. All the best to you, Owen. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining us here on both sides of the story on this New Year's Eve. Curtis in Claremont, St. Anne says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm, and everyone everywhere. Bensonton in St. Anne, Sir Malcolm. If it is, it's my school. We're happy to hear that. So your school will be getting supplies from the Angel Foundation UKJA, and a couple of the items are already here in Jamaica, and the others are on the high seas, shipping the items to be delivered to Bensonton and also Freehill. I think the other school is Freehill, off the top of my head. So there's a reason for you to, well, I don't know the extent to which you have gone back to your school, Curtis, in Claremont, St. Anne, to check up on your alma mater. Now would be a good time, eh? If the Angel Foundation can choose Bensonton to make a contribution to the development of the school, certainly Curtis from Claremont St. Anne can play his part. Again, I don't want to make assumptions, and I'm not making assumptions. I would like to think that you have made contributions one way or another in the past. For the person calling us on the WhatsApp line now, the line is already taken up. We have a caller holding on the line, and we're going to that caller as soon as we clear these messages. So if you're the one with that 835 number, if your number starts with 835, then you're the one calling us now. Sorry, we can't take your call right now because someone else is holding on the WhatsApp line. Sorry about that. So Curtis goes on to say, Happy New Year to everyone when it comes. I'm so excited to be alive this, the final day of the year. All praise to God Almighty himself for his protection. All glory and praise. God, my keeper. Amen. Curtis in Claremont, St. Anne. Thank you for your message. And we'll come back to some of the other messages in a moment. But first, let's go to this call coming in from Florida on the WhatsApp line. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, and Happy New Year's when it comes, your family and the team at Power 106.
Thank you. Same to you and yours.
All right, I won't stay long because I have a lot of things to do and I have to go to church later.
Mm-hmm.
But I was listening and look rundown with Bishop Desmond Tutu. I think this Saturday is his funeral. But they give me some little, some places that they take him body to before in funeral.
Sorry, can you start again, please? Sorry about that.
Bishop Desmond Tutu. I think this Saturday is his funeral.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But they before his funeral, they always take him body. Well, most of them big men and then them take them some places that they used to go or we used to live before the funeral. And I noticed the reporter say a thing that caught my attention. Desmond Tutu said him don't want an expensive funeral. And him want the cheapest casket they can find to put him away.
I saw it on CNN. That's a box. That's a box. That's a simple box.
What I noticed in Jamaica, a lot of time I've been to funeral there, and I observed one day, especially the inner city, when the people are the first who look good, Ufa casket expensive more than Ufa. But with Desmond Tutu, he make a good decision because he's not coming back off on Saturday. He's done and gone for good. So he left a foundation for him kids and grandkids. So that's what most people should start thinking right now.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we're listening. We're just trying to take out some of the extra noise by muting a couple of the outputs.
Okay. Yes, I'm saying most people should start thinking that way. We leave a foundation for you kids and grandkids when they're gone. Because we know people want to put away them loved ones certain way, but sometimes I see people are go the extra mile just to, So I don't know if what I'm saying, son. Wait here.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's a feeling, and it's been that way for a long time, where and it's been discussed. People have said we need to change our approach. Normally, in some other countries, if somebody dies, you take to the person you make some contribution to the family of the deceased, as opposed to just, mind you, not everybody can afford to make a contribution, and your presence can help to make a difference as well. But it's something we need to revisit. Mind you, people are free to choose whatever mode of burial and celebration of their loved ones but the hope is that it is done with a level of dignity, and for those who are on the conservative side, would rather it not be too vulgar.
Okay. Yeah, I know when I'm on, when I love one guy, you know, I put him away decent, but sometimes I see people, what I would say, you know, they don't have it as though they want it, although they want to do it, but they sometimes pressuring themselves to make sure people don't say certain things or people don't, you know. But I see the rich guy, them when them die, I don't know if they think about what people gonna say or what, but they say they bear a certain way and they're not worrying about what people gonna say.
Hold on,
They
hold
come
on,
with what
hold on.
the family want it to be like.
Hold a moment, please. We need to take a break.
That's what it is, boss.
3:33 on Power
So
106.
how everything in Jamaica right now?
Hold on a second. We had to take a break. Just a moment. Just a moment. We had to take a break. Hold on, please.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. It's New Year's Eve, and we're seeing live footage of Times Square, New York City, ready for scaled-back New Year's Eve celebration. Crowd will be limited to 15,000 people. Masks will be required. Social distancing in viewing areas. Later entry at 3 p.m. instead of earlier. Proof of vaccination and ID. So strict terms for those privileged to be in or to be afforded an opportunity to join in the celebration of the New Year in Times Square. We'll keep an eye on that. But let's get back to the caller online. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, one last thing before I go. I know most church tonight gonna keep. Oh, yeah, I know how much the limit that they have in the church. I have somebody going down today. In fact, they're supposed to be there already, and they want to go to our church service. So I'm gonna give them a call later and talk to them.
Yeah, well, I think it's about 100, but there's also provision depending on the size of the building. That will make a difference in terms of the numbers. If certain numbers can be accommodated without breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act as far as the section on physical or social distancing is concerned.
Okay. Well, I've been to that church. I say it's not a big church, but I think them should be all right. Anyway, thank you very much, boss, for listening to you.
Thank you for the call. All the best.
Yeah.
Thank you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon to Latoya Clark. Thank you very much for watching on YouTube. SMHEDD says, good day or good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Wishing you all the best for the new year. Been multitasking, marking papers and setting questions for pop test come next week. God's will. Until then, well, we wish you all the best in those tests that you'll be sitting. All the best. Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott, East Central, St. Andrews says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan and everyone listening. Happy New Year when it comes. To you too and yours, Jennifer Stewart. Sandra Newton says, not sure what Sandra is saying. I'm not sure if it's a response to the question. Remember, we asked the question, what do you plan to do in 2022? What do you plan to do in 2022? Well, we really hope that there will be a dramatic drop, a precipitous drop in the number of fatalities on our roads. I believe we're at 480 right now. 480, or is it 481? Maybe I think closer to 481. And the leading category of fatalities on our roads for 2021, motorcyclists. We've been saying it for a few years now. Motorcyclists are an endangered species in Jamaica. Motorcyclists are an endangered species in Jamaica. If you have a family member, a friend, a colleague, a neighbor, anybody who operates a motorcycle, find a way to talk to them. And in fact, last year, and at some point this year as well, we were on air suggesting that those of us who are offering gifts, if we have family members, friends, colleagues, neighbors who are motorcyclists, get them a helmet, get them a crash guard, or what they call it, protective suit, protective wear, or protective gear, however you look at it, for motorcyclists. No better gift than the gift to help them to minimize the impact of any road mishap. But the motorcyclists are an endangered species in Jamaica. We have lost, as at last night, I believe, or yesterday, we have lost 163 motorcyclists. 163 motorcyclists dead as at yesterday, for a total now, I believe, of about 481 fatalities overall. Of the 481 fatalities, 163 were motorcyclists. All of us as road users need to become road models. Road models, ROAD models. More of us need to. It's not pretty on the roads at all. Not pretty on the roads. Not pretty on the roads. Let's just do whatever we can while we can. That song we used to sing in basic school, you in your small corner and I in mine. Let's just do what we can do. The rate at which we're going on our roads, Lord help us. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. What do you plan to do in 2022? That's a question we've thrown out there. What do you plan to do in 2022? Andrew McPherson in St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I have enjoyed 2021. Well, it's not over yet. We still have a few hours. Better if you say, I am enjoying 2021, or if you want to say, I'm still enjoying 2021 with Power 106, with all the interesting programs. Happy New Year to you all at Power 106 as it approaches in a couple of hours. Happy New Year to you too, and to your family, Andrew McPherson in St. Thomas. All the best. Take care. And Curtis in St. Anne says, praise the Lord Jesus for the Angel Foundation. Enough appreciation. And that has to do with the learning aids, the computers and related material to be distributed at Bensonton in St. Anne. Here's another message. Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy New Year to you and your listeners. Thanks for a very informative program. My husband and I are fully vaccinated and are due to get our booster shots. We're both over 70 years of age. I just lost both my brother and his wife to COVID, Danny and Hyacinth James in Linstead. So sorry to hear that. Condolences. The message goes on. We are truly anxious to get our booster shots and are asking you if you could kindly research the booster shots availability in Discovery Bay if the Ministry of Health is giving the booster shots in our area or close by. We Googled the information and found that Hospiten in Montego Bay was granted permission to give the shots. We had occasion to be in Mobay and went to Hospiten and were advised that they were not giving the booster shots. We would be eternally grateful if you could help us out. Thanking you in advance, sincerely. This is Walter and Bev Banks. Right. Let's see if we can get some information for you. Let's see if we can get some information for you. But I think they've started administering the boosters. I think so. We'll check on that for you in this break coming up. And Curtis in Claremont St. Anne says, Sir Malcolm, my plan is to love God more, and that will help me to be a better person. The rest of us appreciate your plan, Curtis in Claremont St. Anne. That's another response to the question, what do you plan to do in 2022? What do you plan to do in 2022? Stand by.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
In addition to peace, love, and good health for all, let us give ourselves the gift of safer roads this Christmas and beyond. As we celebrate the festive season, let us resist the urge to text while driving. Wear your seatbelts and helmets. Look out for pedestrians and take time drive now. This Christmas can still be better than ever, but you must play your part and use the roads responsibly. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from my family to you.
Days of old lang syne. And surely you'll be a pine stook, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. And there's a hand my trusty fear, and gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll take a recht get well we for all life sign, for all.
Let's go, studio. Thanks. Just a moment. Just one moment, please. Let's go, studio. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. It's the New Year's Eve edition of Both Sides of the Story. And we just before we go to the call on our WhatsApp line, in reference to the message we just received from Walter and Beverly Banks, we have heard, we just confirmed that once 6 months have passed since you received the second dose of the 2-dose AstraZeneca vaccine, or I would imagine any other vaccine that you have received, once 6 months have passed, you are eligible to receive a booster shot, a booster vaccine. And all you need to do is to check with the same general vaccine centers in your area. And the booster that they'll be giving is not going to be AstraZeneca. The booster will be Pfizer. Pfizer is the booster that will be administered. The Pfizer booster shot, the Pfizer vaccine will be the booster shot to go along with your double dose of AstraZeneca. So that is the word that we just got from a representative of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, that once 6 months have passed since you became fully vaccinated, once 6 months have passed since you became fully vaccinated, you are eligible to receive a booster. The booster you're likely to get at this time is the Pfizer booster. The Pfizer, that's the one you'll be getting for the booster. I hope that helps, Walter and Beverly. And as we said, you can check with the same centers, the same vaccine centers that you went to previously should still be operational. Just check with at least one of the centers where you went for your first and second shots. Right, let's go to a call now on our WhatsApp line, same as the text line, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan.
Good afternoon, Olivia. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. What's on your mind on this New Year's Eve? What's on your mind on this New Year's Eve?
Well, not much. I'm just thinking about life.
And what is coming to mind as you're thinking about life?
I'm just thinking about the fact that I'm grateful that since COVID came, I haven't caught any diseases or anything.
And the rest of us are very happy for that as well. Those of us who have managed to escape the clutches of COVID-19 up to now, knock on wood, we give thanks. And we give thanks for those who had their bout or brush with COVID-19 and have recovered. And we keep in our thoughts and prayers the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors of those who have lost the fight against COVID-19.
Indeed.
Yes. Right. So you're back at school on Monday. Is that it?
I'm not really sure. No, I don't think so.
Oh, it will be face to face then.
Orientation.
Oh, you have orientation. Got you. Orientation on Monday.
Yes.
Okay. But you started a new grade September last year, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I wasn't supposed to say orientation. I mean consultation.
Oh, so that's where your parents or guardians accompany you to school to speak with the teachers. Is that it, or your teacher?
Oh yes.
I see. Well, we trust that you are going to be. Well, we have no doubt that you are going to exceed the expectations of your parents.
Yes.
Yes. So how has the season been for you between Christmas and now New Year's Eve? How has it been for you?
Very enjoyable.
That's good. You've been having a lot of fun then.
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know.
Mommy, Ellie and I actually put up a tent. I think one day before Christmas. One day before Christmas, we put up a tent outside, and we slept in there, and we're listening to some Christmas music.
Oh, that sounds very special. That sounds really special.
Yes, it was.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you managed, well, for the rest of this weekend, you will manage to get some rest so that you're ready to take on the challenges of the new school term, correct?
Well, yes, but sometimes also no, because I'm not really, you know how I'm very hyperactive, so I don't get much sleep. Even if I don't get much sleep, I still have a lot of energy. So
Yeah. Well, you know what? Just continue to channel all that energy in positive directions, and you'll be fine.
yeah, Mommy wants to talk to you.
Sure, no problem. And if I don't get to talk back with you, Happy New Year when it comes, Olivia.
Thank you, and same to you.
Thank you very much. And let's hear from Mommy now. Nicola, afternoon and Happy New Year when it comes. How are you?
Thank you. Same to you. I'm giving thanks for life. We're at the end of December, the end of 2021. I've had its struggles, but I'm so grateful to be here. And I just wanted to use the opportunity today to thank you too for the role that you have played in personal life and, just generally the media. And, whatever I've not been able to do, you do for me, because you do your homework. So thank you for doing your homework, because, I'm always at school when you're on, and you really you continue to do an awesome job. And I just pray for your strength and for your protection and, that you will continue to do what you do. Thank you for all you do. And for all you've done, and for all that God will enable you to do in 2022. I hear you ask the question, what do I plan to do in 2022? Actually, haven't really given much thought to that as yet, but I will do a few things differently, and I have certain responsibilities that I must continue to execute, so I will be ensuring that happens. So as God enables me, I will continue to do my best as well.
And we'll be here to give you whatever support we can.
Indeed, thank you so much. I wanted to put something out there on what's that now, as it relates to the roads. have to deal with these roads almost on a daily basis. I'm not sure what the secret is that Miss Rhoda Moore Crawford is using in Manchester, Mandeville, Manchester to be exact, and the environs, but that needs to be replicated. Talking about the roads from Spalding to Frankfield, and from Frankfield to, say, Trout Hall, and then if you go beyond Trout Hall now, going to Penance, well, as far as the Summerfield, I'd say those roads need to be fixed. And I've seen evidence where they attempted, well, you see action taking place, and then when you ask questions, you hear that it will be fixed because the money is there, but the year has come to a close and the roads are still in a very deplorable state. And I'm not sure why the roads are still like that, but they need to be fixed because they're a threat to health and safety, and they are also likely cause for accidents, and you know, if you have an emergency and you have to be using these roads, you're really in a bind. So calling on the Member of Parliament for this section from Spalding coming down, that would be Philip Henriquez. He needs to do something about the roads. They've patched part way from Spalding. They need to work on the rest. And we need to stop using election as a gimmick and apply to handle road work. You know, we need to do what is right for the people who use the roads.
We endorse that which you just said, Nicola. You're perfectly correct. There are people who are vested with the authority and gifted with the resources to professionally and responsibly apply to situations like the one you've outlined. And if we feel they're falling short, by all means, we have to call them out.
Of course, and the road also from Frankfield to Nine Turns, that road is in a terrible state. My grandmother is 99 years old, and she lives in Nine Turns. And when I have to visit my grandmother, it is just so painful. It's painful and it's tiring to be traversing those roadways. So I'm begging and beseeching the Member of Parliament. I'm even inviting the Prime Minister to come and take a tour of the area. The roads need to be fixed, and they need to be fixed for the new year, because they have been that way from up to May this year. There was some signs that there was going to be work done, and that never materialized. You hear that the material finished at X point, and the roads have gotten worse since then. The NWA also has to take some responsibility because...
oh, I'm sorry. One moment, please, Nicola. One moment. We need to take a break.
106 FM. The time is now
4 o'clock. Making lists and buying gifts this Christmas? Don't spend it all. Leave a little to pay your taxes. Avoid the long lines this holiday season. Pay online the easy way at jamaicatax.gov.jm. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Let's go, studio. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. Ciencia, TDN le, si dien liang I fen. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon, here at home in the parish of St. Andrew in the corporate area, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Nicola in central Jamaica is sharing her concern, a perennial concern, isn't it, when it comes on to roadworks or lack thereof in Jamaica. Nicola?
Yes, Dervan. And there's a particular issue that every time there is, for example, heavy rains, or in the case of the rains and the flooding and the land slippage that occurred with Grace the other day. So it is a known fact that the road from, say, Maypen to Frankfield, that road is affected. So there has to be some plans put in place to ensure that the road is maintained, and also that attention is given, because we had lots of fallen trees and rocks and all kind of debris in the road, and the potholes are gaping. You see sporadic patching and so on and so forth, but nothing significant and nothing lasting has been done. And like I said, it's untenable that the road is still in that condition, and I'm imploring the MP to do something about it. When you drive through Mandeville, the roads in Mandeville, and you can't make a comparison and say Manchester is, like more near urban. Then no, the same people with flesh and blood and expenses that live in Mandeville, they live in other parts of the country, and they deserve good roads. They deserve good roads to drive on. Our children deserve good roads to be transported, and those who have to walk. Sometimes you're driving and you have to be taking over the other side of the road to avoid potholes. Those things can cause accidents. So I'm asking the MP to take a tour of the area. I'm sure he's aware of the situation. I'm asking his supervisor, the Prime Minister, to come and see what is happening. We're asking teachers to be accountable. We need to ask our politicians to be accountable, because we spend more money to get our education than they do, right? We have to continually be proving ourselves as professionals, while they have their mandate and they don't execute their jobs according to what their job description says, if they have one, that is. So we need to start holding these people accountable.
Yeah, accountability is key. And one of the areas of governance we must never let up on. Accountability,
yes,
accountability, accountability. Well put,
yes,
Nicola.
Thanks, Dervan. And just a quick check-in on behalf of my neighbor. She is over 70, and she went ahead and got the vaccine, and she was, well, when I told her that she really could benefit from a grant, she said she applied, and when she applied, they told her that the banking information is incorrect, and nothing has become of that situation since then. So she was wondering if it was a strategy based on her being, for example, a retired professional, then if that is the reason why they told her that, because that's the same banking information she uses to do her regular transactions.
Well, that's information that could be easily verified. There's a number. I'm not sure if it's still functional, but there's a number and a website that people can connect to in order to get an update. I'm not sure if it's still functional though. It's, what's it called? There's the WeCare website. WeCare.gov.jm or something to that effect.
All right. If you remember, just give a shout out, and I'll pass on the information to her.
All right, we'll do our best.
Yes. So again, thanks for everything, and God bless you all the best for the rest of the year, and the biggest and best of everything for 2022.
And the very same to you and your family. All the best.
Thank you so much. All the best. Take care.
Bye-bye. That's Nicola in Central Jamaica, speaking with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's see, here's an update from Walter and Beverly, who messaged us earlier on about the booster. And this message says, we have already passed 6 months since we got fully vaccinated with AstraZeneca and went to Bahia Principe Hotel in Runaway Bay. However, they're not currently giving the booster. We are up a creek without a paddle. Is there any place in our area or relatively close place Please help. Well, we did ask the representative from the Ministry of Health, and that representative has said the same general vaccination centers are still operational and are offering the booster shot. And so we would suggest a more permanent health facility in St. Anne as an option, as opposed to Grand Bahia Principe Hotel, because theirs uh, might be itinerant. Their vaccination setup might be itinerant, meaning it is moved from time to time. So there are times that they're there, and times they're somewhere else. So it might very well be a mobile team from the Ministry of Health and Wellness who would normally set up shop at Grand Bahia Principe in Runaway Bay, St. Anne. Maybe they don't have that traffic for boosters. I don't know if that could be a reason. So what I would do is to check with one of the established health facilities in the parish, if not specifically in Runaway Bay, somewhere else within the parish, a more permanent center. Or you could call what I think 1-888 One Love is still up and running. That's the Ministry of Health and websites. I beg your pardon, the Ministry of Health and Wellness's call center, 888 One Love. So that's an option. You could try that as well. But what is clear is that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has said that those who have been fully vaccinated, and it's been 6 months, more than 6 months, 6 months or more since they have been fully vaccinated. If it's 6 months or more since they have been fully vaccinated, they are eligible to get a booster shot. The booster shots are being administered. That's the word from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The booster shots are being administered largely at the same general vaccination centers that have been operating. And that the booster that you'll be getting is the Pfizer vaccine. That's the booster. Even though you may have received the AstraZeneca, it's the Pfizer that you'll get for a booster. That is the information that we have. If you're not finding them, the team at Grand Bahia Principe, as we said, we suggest that you check. Well, the Ministry of Health and Wellness website also has, I think it has the information for vaccination centers as well. I believe so. But that aside, you could always check with the nearest health clinic, health center, or even hospital, just to find out if their location is being used, or if they know of other areas within the district of Runaway Bay or the parish of St. Anne, if they could direct you to one of those centers administering the booster. That's what I would suggest. Walter and Beverly, you can let us know how that goes, please. Lorna says, hi, Uncle Dervan. Thank God we live to see the last day. Hope the new year will be better and no more COVID. We hope, but we also have to work. We not just hoping, not just wishing and hoping and wishing and hoping, as the song says, but working consciously to fight against COVID-19. How about that? Let's check in some more messages coming in here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. It's the New Year's Eve edition. And let's see what we have here. Checking. Somebody says, what's up, Mr. Malcolm? Happy New Year to you from Roland. So this is Roland. Let's save your number, Roland, so that we can identify you the next time we get a message from you. Roland. Right, so we're saving this number so that we can properly identify you when you call. Right. Thank you very much, Roland, for your message here on this New Year's Eve edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And here's a text message saying, get an HIV test today with Health Connect Jamaica. And they've given us a number supported by USAID. Well, thank you very much for this useful message. Get an HIV test today with Health Connect Jamaica. And you can call Health Connect Jamaica at 876-669-7349. 876-669-7349. And this Pan American Health Organization says vaccines are effective against COVID-19 variants. Getting vaccinated can keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. For more info, and this link takes us to Vax-JM. So the marketers are making full use of our numbers, the marketers who have our numbers, making full use by sending text messages. Quite useful so far. Useful text messages. Let's get ready for the next break here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Still taking your calls. We're asking the question. We're asking the question. What do you plan to do in 2022? What do you plan to do in 2022? Answer after the break.
Pensioners, the NIS is seeking to serve you better as we transition the frequency of payments using the pension order books from fortnightly to monthly. Starting January 2022, the number of pension order vouchers in your pension order books will be reduced from 13 to 6. Pensioners to be given new books in January will get the first set of 6 voucher pension order books. This means you will only need to visit the post office just once per month. Please note that your annual payment remains the same. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
An awesome gift, and it's on sale. The Gleaner subscription Christmas special is back in a big way. Save 40% off when you subscribe to receive newspaper deliveries right to your door. Already a print subscriber? Refer your friends and earn 1 week free for every friend who subscribes. Call 876-932-6188 or 876-932-6288 now. Offer ends January 7, 2022. Conditions apply. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
And gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll talk correct, get well walked for all of lang syne, for all of lang syne, dear, for all of lang syne. We'll talk a cup o' kindness yet for all lang syne, for all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne. We'll talk a cup o' kindness rise yet for all mankind.
Let's go. Que hora es en español? Son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:17. 现在几点了4:17 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at home in the parish of St. Andrew in the corporate area, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, young people, we know you're on holiday, but you know what we always say, even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Here are some messages on Facebook Live. Claudia Gould Hadam in the Cayman Islands says, good afternoon, Dervan. I wish for you and all your listeners a God-blessed and a prosperous 2022 when it comes. Have a great day. Love always. Happy New Year, Claudia Gould Hadam, and all the very best. Bijou in New York says, thank you. You're welcome, Bijou. Happy New Year, boss, says Rani Bell in St. Thomas. Reverend Dr. Coretta Matthew says, happy 2022, Mr. Dervan Malcolm. You have kept us up to date with current affairs. You have done a wonderful job, and I thank God for your life. May 2022 be a year of unusual blessings for you and your staff. Thank you, Reverend Coretta Matthew. Thank you very much. Lady Jean in Monique St. Anne says, good afternoon, Dervan, the team of Power 106, and our faithful listeners. Thank you for the awesome service you gave us, the listeners, in 2021. Much respect for your years of dedication. Thanks to your family also. I pray God's blessings on you and the team as you continue to serve us in 2022. Keep safe. Much love. Same to you. Many happy returns, Lady Jean in Monique St. Anne. Inez Iona Campbell says, good afternoon, everyone. Wishing you a prosperous 2022. And you likewise, Iona Campbell. Bijou says, Dervan, I was so heartbroken when I read the news today about 10-year-old Jezaria Tyrrell's murder in Kingston, Jamaica. I pray that the violence will reduce for 2022. It's too much, and it needs to stop. My condolences to the family of Jezaria and to all the families who have lost loved ones to murder in 2022. We join you in conveying, as we did yesterday, our condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors of this little girl, this little baby, still a baby as far as I'm concerned at age 10, hardly lived any life. Her life has been snuffed out. Our thoughts and prayers with her family, the family of Jezaria Tyrrell. Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois, I believe, says, good afternoon, Ambassador Malcolm. Season's greetings to you, Para 106, and your listening audience. Thank you kindly for another year of excellent broadcast journalism. I'm extremely proud of you and all that you have accomplished. Looking forward to your continued exemplary accomplishments. Blessings and gratitude. We humbly accept. Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois. Thank you very much for your kind words and all the very best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Para 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Kevin Dunk says, no homework today. We parents enjoying the holiday break from checking homework. Happy holidays and best wishes for 2022. Same to you and yours, Kevin Dunk. Thank you so much. Same to you and yours. Paul in London says, hi, Brother Dervan. Hope all is well with you and your family. Have a happy new year, 2022, when it comes, brother. Thank you very much, Paul in London. Thank you for your message. And oh wow, I'm humbled and honored. So I'm on the big screen at home. I see Nicola. I see. I'm humbled, and I'm seeing the tent, which was referenced earlier on by Olivia, the Christmas camp. That must have been loads of fun. I'm sure you all enjoyed it. Well done. There's an idea. There's an idea. Well done. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking your calls on the subject and whatever else is on your mind. But we've been asking, what do you plan to do in 2022? What do you plan to do in 2022? Hashtag, what do you plan to do in 2022? Hashtag, what do you plan to do in 2022? That's the question. That's the question. What do you plan to do in 2022? Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's give you a quick update. What time is it? Well, we know we have news coming up in just over half an hour's time. Let's see if we can give you a head start as far as the news is concerned. Well, we did share earlier on that Betty White, TV's golden girl, dies at 99. Remember her? Yeah. And very witty, very witty. There's no doubt about that. She was a very witty person, and she played Rose. I think it was Rose, right? Yes, Rose. It's Blanche, Rose. Help me here. Help me. See if I can remember the characters. So there's Blanche, Rose, Dorothy. There you go. It's three of them, right? Yeah. Dorothy, Blanche, and Rose. And Betty White played Rose, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. Yes. So, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful human being. Wonderful human being she was. We wish her family all the best as they contend with the loss of this giant of a woman. The education minister is condemning the murder of Jezaria Tyrell, and so say all of us. How many times do we have to condemn these things, these heinous acts, before those of us who are committing these acts realize that the ones we hurt are you and me? There's a song that just came into my head. What's it called? Gangsta's Paradise. And we're told we have about 300 gangs in Jamaica. Gangsta's Paradise. Who did that song? came to mind just now. In spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Been spending most our lives in a gangster's paradise. What a tragedy. On the subject of vaccination sites, here's some information as well. Vaccination sites closed for holiday weekend. Yes, this is a holiday weekend. This is New Year's Eve. Tomorrow is New Year's Day. Even if we would normally be up and about on a day like tomorrow, Saturday, because it's New Year's Day, the color of the day will be much different. The texture of the day will be much different. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting that COVID-19 vaccination sites will be closed this weekend as Jamaicans observe the New Year's Day holiday. Once again, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting that COVID-19 vaccination sites will be closed this weekend as Jamaicans observe the New Year's Day holiday. There are apparently more than 250 access points across Jamaica, and those will reopen on Monday. So as far as vaccination is concerned, vaccination centers, there are more than 250 access points across Jamaica, and those are closed this weekend, but will reopen bright and early Monday, the 3rd of January, 2022, to facilitate the administration of first and second doses, booster shots, and additional doses for the immunocompromised. At the same time, members of the public are being urged to remain vigilant in their practice of the infection prevention and control measures, which have been put in place to reduce the spread of infections. The Ministry of Health says up to 9 o'clock this morning, a total of 1,208,785 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine had been administered. Of that number, 600 and let's give you the last bit after the break.
Part of who we are, and when it comes to keeping you connected to them, Grace Kennedy Money Services Western Union makes it safer and easier. Now friends and family overseas can use the Western Union app or westernunion.com to send money directly to your bank account without leaving home. Receive a Western Union money transfer directly into your bank account with a direct-to-bank service. Register online at gkmsonline.com and share your banking details with your sender so you don't have to leave home to collect.
And there's a hand my trusty fear, and he's a hand o' thine, and we'll ta correct, get well walked for all of land's sign, for all land's sign. For old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet. For old lang syne, for old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne.
Let's go, studio. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 28. Science, TDN-le. Wo dien cha ar shur ba fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at home in the parish of St. Andrew in the corporate area, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. The police recently issued a reminder. The police here in Jamaica issued a reminder for those licensed or unlicensed firearm holders that the carrying out of gun salutes, engaging in gun salutes, will not be tolerated this New Year's Day into afternoon, into evening, into night, into morning. Gun salutes will not be tolerated, the police have said. And here's the story. Here's the warning. So listen up, those who have ears to hear, let them hear. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is warning people to desist from carrying out the illegal practice of using their weapons to do celebratory gun salutes during New Year celebrations. Where illegal activities are observed or are brought to the attention of the police, the law will be applied to its fullest extent. Citizens are encouraged to contact the 119 police emergency number or the nearest police station to report any breach of the law. The police are reassuring everyone that as the new year approaches, they will be vigilant and will maintain high visibility in communities and business centers across the island. And that is straight from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. No gun salutes. Speaking of which, can we go back to 1775? 1775. On this day in 1775, the inhabitants of Westmoreland heard guns firing and thought it was an invasion, only to learn that people drinking out the old year had fired the shots. The people of Westmoreland had been on alert because in May 1775, the political situation had further deteriorated and the Battle of Bunkers Hill signaled the beginning of the war between Britain and her 13 North American colonies. Although the British won the engagement, it had cost them half of the men engaged in the action. The news that war had started was soon learned by the citizens of Westmoreland, who were put on the alert of a possible invasion by their old enemy, the French, who had taken the side of the Americans. Hence the reaction of the people when they heard the shots fired on this day, New Year's Day, in 1775, only to find out that it was drunken people ringing in the new year. See how old that tradition is? Illegal as it is in Jamaica. 1775. From 1775, they were doing gun salutes on New Year's Eve. 1775 in the parish of Westmoreland. What a thing. What a thing. Let's go to 1840. On this day in 1840, British currency became that of Jamaica by law. Legislation was written that money in circulation was to be the lower denomination copper coins, the farthing, halfpenny, penny, halfpenny, and penny, as well as the higher denomination silver coins, the 3 pence, 6 pence, shilling, florin, half crown, and crown. Spanish coins were demonetized with the exception of the Spanish doubloon, which remained in circulation until 1901. Governor Elgin informed the House of Assembly on this day in 1845 that the ban he had placed on John Canoe, otherwise known as John Canoe, the ban he had placed on John Canoe marches during the past 2 years had had the effect of ending the barbarous amusements in which the lower orders were wont to indulge at Christmas. This, he told the Assembly, was indicative of the progress of civilization. So Governor Elgin saw the practice of the John Canoe, the practices of John Canoe, the tradition of John Canoe as being barbarous, and the fact that it and he also went on to say that it lowered the lower orders, referring to the masses, the lower orders would indulge in the practice of John Canoe at Christmas. And he is proud, it seems, that because he placed a ban on John Canoe marches over the previous 2 years, that it had the effect of ending the parade of John Canoes or John Canoe parades, what he refers to as the barbarous amusements in which the lower orders were wont to indulge at Christmas. And because as far as what happened further to the ban on John Canoe for 2 years, he's seeing this as progress, the fact that because of the ban, the masses were no longer engaging in John Canoe parades. And the governor, Elgin, saw this as being indicative of the progress of civilization. Hello to the vendors at let's see, the southern end of National Heroes Park, southwestern end of National Heroes Park, the people who sell the crab and the soup and the corn and so on. Now, if you walk, drive, ride, or otherwise move around that area, if you move in a westerly direction or west-northwesterly direction, near to that gas station, that popular gas station, you will see a street sign with the name Geffrard Place. And the Geffrard is spelled Geffrard because it's French. You don't pronounce the D at the end. Geffrard. So you'll see the place name Geffrard Place. If you anglicize it, you would say Geffrard Place or Geffrard Place. Well, here's the backstory to that. In 1878, General Fabre Geffrard, Fabre is his first name, Fabre, Fabre, French, Fabre. General Fabre Geffrard, exiled president of the Republic of Haiti. Haiti has been having problems for a very long time, one way or another. This is 1878. General Fabre Geffrard, exiled president of the Republic of Haiti, died in Jamaica on this day in 1878. General Geffrard came to Jamaica in 1867 and bought Torrington House, a large residence between Slipe Road and West National Heroes Circle. Geffrard Place, a short road joining both West National Heroes Circle and Slipe Road. Jeffrar Place, a short road joining Slipe Road and West National Heroes Circle, is named after him. So this is the man, General Fabre Jeffrar. That's where that place name comes from. The western section, if you walk along the western section of National Heroes Circle, where that popular gas station is, you'll see the street sign, Jeffrar Place. That's named in honor of General Fabre Jeffrar, exiled president of the Republic of Haiti, who died in Jamaica on this day in 1878. And Jeffrar Place, as we said, joins Slipe Road and West National Heroes Circle. We seem to have a penchant, as the French would say. We seem to have a penchant or a knack or a tendency or a proclivity for accommodating exiled Haitian presidents in Jamaica, long before the more recent ones, which most people would be familiar. Take, for example, January 24, 1951, when ex-president of Haiti, Monsieur Dumaris Estime, that's D-U-M-A-R-I-S, Dumaris, D-U-M-A-R-I-S, Dumaris Estime, E-S-T-I-M-E. Monsieur, so this is January 24, 1951, ex-president of Haiti, Monsieur Dumaris Estime, was allowed to land with his wife, Lurline, and their 2 children, and given 1 month by the immigration authorities to remain in Jamaica when they arrived by ship after living in France since Monsieur Dumaris Estime was deposed in May 1950. Monsieur Estime had not been keeping good health. He was allowed to remain only after the intervention of the leader of the majority party in the House of Representatives, Alexander Bustamante. The family was taken by Mr. Bustamante to the Melrose Hotel on Duke Street in Kingston. That's on the French side. That's an example on the French side. On the Spanish side, Jamaica has played host to military leader and former president of Mexico, Santa Anna, Antonio Lopez. We'll tell you some more after the break.
And there's a hand my trust to fear, and gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll ta correct, get well walked for all of life's sign, for all life's sign. For old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet. For old lang syne, for old lang syne, my dear. For old lang syne.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 14. 现在几点了？5点差14分。14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon on this New Year's Eve edition of Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Well, we know it hasn't been a very productive day in Jamaica because it's the day before a holiday. Never mind that tomorrow is Saturday, and Saturday, most people get a break on a Saturday. But tomorrow is a holiday. It's not your regular Saturday tomorrow. Tomorrow is New Year's Day, which makes it a holiday, just like last Saturday was Christmas Day, and that made it a holiday. There you go. All right. We were just demonstrating how much of a refuge Jamaica has been over the years for all these leaders of the world. We spoke about the former president of Haiti, General Fabre Geffrard, in whose name Geffrard Place is listed at West Heroes Circle. We also made reference to Monsieur Dieu-Marie Estime, former president of Haiti. And going to the break, we referenced Santa Anna, the fact that Jamaica has played host to military leader and former president of Mexico, Santa Anna, Antonio Lopez. Santa Anna secured the overthrow of the existing government in Mexico in 1828. He was a brave and rather successful military leader and led insurrection after insurrection until in March 1833, he obtained his election to the presidency of the Republic of Mexico. But with an army of 20,000 men, he lost the Battle of Buena Vista. He was afterwards defeated in the battle at Cerro Gordo, and about the middle of September 1847, was driven with nearly 2,000 followers from the city of Mexico. He was deposed and in April 1848 fled Mexico for Jamaica. And we told you before, in fact, was it yesterday, we told you about the great liberator of Latin America, Simon Bolivar, who arrived in Jamaica for about a year. Well, he lived in Jamaica for about a year. His statue stands tall at Heroes Circle. That's the southeastern section of National Heroes Circle by the Ministry of Education building. And his name lives on in the Simon Bolivar Cultural Center at North Parade in downtown Kingston. And how about this one? 1920 it was. Well, before that, 1910, the governor of Jamaica, Sir Sidney Haldane Olivier, had a notice placed in the Gleaner that the gardens of King's House would be open on the afternoon of Monday, the 2nd of January, from 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. to all who may desire to visit them and view the new building. King's House had just been rebuilt. That was 1910. 1920, thousands of his followers gather in Augusttown, St. Andrew, expecting to see the self-proclaimed prophet Alexander Bedward ascend to heaven as he promised he would. But his followers were disappointed. Alexander Bedward was a popular folk hero and leader of a messianic cult movement, Bedwardism. The movement was centered on the Jamaica Native Baptist Church in Augusttown on the bank of the Hope River, where Bedward's fame as a faith healer and preacher attracted followers from all over Jamaica, Cuba, and Central America. But Bedward was more than a revivalist preacher. He openly challenged the establishment and in 1895 had been arrested for sedition following his racial prophecy that the black wall shall crush the white wall. After Bedward was declared insane and committed to the lunatic asylum, and by the way, that term is not appropriate in today's world, lunatic, but that's the word they used back then. But essentially, he had mental health issues, but was released. He was released from the asylum on a technicality, and Bedwardite missions sprang up all over Jamaica as his influence grew. On the last day of December 1920, Bedward announced that he would ascend to heaven and descend on January 3, 1921. Thousands of supporters in Jamaica and from Panama, Cuba, and other parts of Central America disposed of their belongings and came to Augusttown to wait for the miracle. It failed to take place, and Bedward declared that the time was not yet right. Yeah, right. 1933, the estimated population of Jamaica in 1933 was 1,090,269. As at this day, 1933, an increase of 232,151. In 1921, that figure was 858,118. And as at December 31, 1938, the Jewish population in Jamaica was estimated at 1,709. In 1934, according to the Registrar of Births and Deaths, now known as the RGD, the number of Indians in Jamaica, as at this day in 1934, was 10,307, of which 821 were registered as voters. They were no longer any indentured Indian immigrants, and 1,549 Indian children were attending schools. It was on May 10, 1845, that the first group of contract workers from India arrived at Old Harbor in St. Catherine. It was, in fact, on May 8, 1845, that the ship Blundell Hunter arrived at Morant Bay in the parish of St. Thomas with Indians who had been recruited to work as indentured laborers in Jamaica. The ship remained at anchor during the night, and the passengers did not disembark. 17 weeks earlier, it left Calcutta, India, carrying the initial set of indentured workers who were part of the scheme that would last for 72 years, only ending in 1917. After receiving orders from the agent at that port, Alexander Barclay, they sailed for Old Harbor Bay in the parish of St. Dorothy, now part of St. Catherine, landing there on Saturday, the 10th of May. And the date is celebrated as Arrival Day. And, oh, listen to this. 1936 in Jamaica. 1936 in Jamaica. Jamaica's police department reported that as at this day in 1936, there were 20 cases of murder reported during the year and 23 people arrested. Did you hear that? These are the crime statistics in Jamaica in 1936. Jamaica's police department reported that as at this day in 1936, there were 20 cases of murder reported during the year and 23 people arrested in relation to those murders. There were 6 cases of rape and 6 people were arrested in connection with those 6 rapes. Fast forward to 2021, and what do we have? Goodness. No, not goodness. More badness than we ever imagined. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, New Year's Eve, December 31, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns next year, Monday, the 3rd of January, 2022, 2 to 5, for the first episode of Both Sides of the Story for 2022. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm, reminding all of us, after 252 editions of Both Sides of the Story for 2021, reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday, and especially on this New Year's Eve. Remember, never look back with regret, nor look forward with fear. Look around you with awareness. Never look back with regret, nor look forward with fear. Look around you with awareness. Prospero año y felicidad. Bonne année et bonne santé. 新年快乐. Happy New Year.
Seas between us, great Herod since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And surely you'll be your pine stoop, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. And there's a hand my trusty fear, and he's a hand o' thine, and we'll take a recht, get well we walked for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne.
You're listening to Power 106 FM.
Bye.
The time is now
5 o'clock.
news, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.